Okay.
Okay. So, John's birthday, take one.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? From Anne's apartment in Ottawa, I'm Julia Campbell-Such, and we're watching a fake episode of Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. Today we're joined by John Bilodeau. He's a life insurance underwriter with a PhD in religion and talent for drawing pictures of dragons. John, welcome to the show.
It's an honor to be here. I'm really a big fan.
How are you with spicy food?
I like spicy food, you
Yeah?
know? Yeah.
Yeah?
I like a good buffalo wing.
You think you're going to be able to take it?
I don't know. I've seen some people really break down.
Yeah, well, we'll see if you
We'll
break down
see,
too.
yeah.
Can we do it? All right, so cheers. Here
Cheers.
we go. First one is the classic.
The classic. Nice. I always wonder what it's like. A lot of these I've seen on the show. I wonder what they're like.
It has de arbol peppers in it.
Oh, okay. That's great. You can still taste it.
Yeah.
Mmm.
It's delicious, actually.
Kind of good wings.
So you're a life insurance underwriter now, but you used to be an academic who studied religion.
Mm-hmm.
You've often told me that at parties, people's eyes used to glaze over when you started talking about your dissertation, which was on religious dissidents in southern France in the Middle Ages, heretics, and the Inquisition.
Yeah.
But now when you start to talk about life insurance, people seem super engaged and interested.
That's true.
Why do you think that is? What's so interesting about life insurance?
I think that compared to the thing that I was interested in religion, life insurance is something that people end up needing. Every person ends up needing at some point in their lives. They buy a house or they get into a business with somebody. And so it's kind of more personal to them than just my academic interest in something, you know? So I think it really connected with people. My eye is already itching, and I'm afraid to touch it.
Don't touch it. Don't touch your eyes. Watch your eyes.
Careful around the eyes. I know. Yeah, it's just once you know you can't touch something, it starts to itch. Yeah, so I think that that's what it is. I think that life insurance is something real, and the academic study of religion is something that's fake. Yeah. Oh, number 2.
Shall we go on?
Yeah, so this is the Thunder Bay one, right?
Yeah, this is the blueberry one.
Heartbeat hot sauce, blueberry habanero. Nice.
I mean, that wasn't very spicy, but it's...
It was a little spicy.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it. All right. I don't taste much of that one.
Yeah, I'm not tasting the blueberry as much as I thought I might.
Feel free to add more.
I might. Or just make more layer.
Yeah. So everyone knows you love chicken wings, but you're also somewhat of a hot dog connoisseur, John.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the perfect hot dog, or tell us about the best hot dog you ever ate?
Best hot dog I ever ate.
Mhm.
That's hard. I think my favorite hot dog right now is a Toronto street hot dog that you get from a vendor. It's cut up and like they sort of slice it up so that it cooks evenly and quickly. And just put like sort of scoring on it, and then with the corn
Is that
relish,
like a beef hot dog?
beef hot dog, corn relish, raw onion, and yellow mustard. That's my favorite hot dog, like right now, big hot dog. But most hot dogs are really, really good. So it's just a narrow lead.
You'll go for a classic
Montreal steamy. Yeah, that weird Chicago dog that I had that one time. All good.
All good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And I had a part B to that question,
Oh.
which was, what do you think it is about these kinds of foods that you like so much? Wings, hot dogs, this kind of like basic, classic, North American. Is it comfort food for you? Is it the type of thing you ate when you were a kid, or?
I think that for me it's associated with being in a really cool sort of situation. Like the chicken wings to me are like the quintessential pub food that you're like having a nice time relaxing in the pub. We started eating them mostly when we were like watching a baseball game or something like that in the pub. And the hot dog's kind of the really street gutter version of that, where you're like on the street, you need a snack, you're just sitting around with everybody, and it's really like cool and relaxed summertime sort of feeling.
Yeah.
So it's mostly
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
That's mostly what it is.
Nice. So should we move on to
Los Calientes.
Los Calientes is the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to know what this one tastes like.
I feel like the classic took over the blueberry one a little bit.
This is one of the Heatnists.
Yeah.
Like one of their sauces.
One of their sauces. Let's give it a shot. I feel like the cooking, it really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. There's like some curry powder taste.
Oh, it hits you a little later. A little sweetness. So before your brother Andre introduced his now wife to you, he warned her, "I have a dark brother." You said that you once owned a black leather coat that became infested with spiders. Is that true?
It was a trench coat. It was my trench coat that got infested by spiders. It did happen. I had a black trench coat from Sears. I thought was really cool. I wore all through high school, and I wore once we moved to Montreal. I wore quite a bit. And I got a job at Taylor's, the clothing store, in the back room, putting the price tags on clothes. But to pay me, they made me open a checking account at the TD, the local TD. And so I went to the TD, dressed all in black trench coat, middle of the summer, to open a TD account. And then I was signing whatever paperwork they needed for the checking account. And as I put my hand out to sign, a tiny baby spider came out of my sleeve and down onto the paper and then scurried across it. And I felt like I came across like I was one of the Addams family. But it was just the jacket happened to be in a closet that was full of baby spiders. That's all.
Right. How did they react at the TD day?
They didn't seem to react. I'm sure they had already decided I was really weird. So
pretty metal. So can you describe the death metal aesthetic and what you like about it?
Yeah, what I liked about it as a kid, and I think that death metal is particularly attractive to white men, young white men in their teens, and that's not across the board, but I'm just going to say like 90%, 80%.
I've seen some cool like Nigerian.
Yeah, it's spread a lot since the 90s, but it started out, I feel like a lot of it started out in Florida, in the suburbs. There was a lot of kids who, I feel like, obviously it evolved out of previous types of metal that had existed before that, bands like Possessed and all those type of bands. But that particular, like Chuck Schuldiner and those guys from Florida seems particularly like a reaction to the realization that you are not immortal and you are not all powerful. So it's kind of like
I see.
a rage, a screaming about the reality of things, some attempt to pierce the kind of suburban bubble that they lived in, and also like it's the kind of realization that only the very privileged have, you know, like it's like the way that the Buddha realized that life is not perfect just because he was like a rich prince who went around.
Yeah.
you know, having whatever he wanted. And the first time he sees a sick person, he's 20 years old, and he's like, people get sick. You know, it's a bit like that.
Kinda like that.
Death
I
metal is
see.
like Buddhism. That's what I'm
see.
saying.
Yeah, very deep. That's very profound.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Are we supposed to be eating more wings? What's the
yeah,
next one?
let's get to the Queen
The
Majesty.
ginger one, yeah.
Queen Majesty. This one has Scotch bonnet, so we're ramping up a
Nice.
little bit.
Scotch
a
bonnet
tiny
and
bit.
ginger hot sauce. I can already feel like my lips are already kind of
Yeah,
hot.
I'm getting like a nice warmth, but it's not unpleasant.
Yeah,
It's not at all unpleasant.
that's right.
Yeah. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this a little earlier today, but you seem to have a love-hate relationship with video games.
Yeah,
So at one point you were deeply involved in role-playing games,
yeah,
like Final Fantasy, then you kind of gave up video games completely for a while.
yeah,
Now you've been exploring different types of games.
yeah.
Can you explain how your relationship with video games has evolved over time? And where have you been able to find that sweet spot where you're still having fun and don't feel too addicted? That's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious. So when I was growing up, we had sort of limited exposure to not the most recent video games, like not the current stuff. We were always like a console generation behind or something like that. I would go to friends' houses and play video games that were more sophisticated than ones I had access to. So it created this kind of desire to be able to get access to really cool games, which I indulged in my 20s. Once I had just a little bit of money, not much, but a little bit. And I sort of overindulged it to the point where I felt like it was a distraction from things that are actually constructive. Like I used it, like the way I used a lot of things, university and other stuff, to just avoid real life and coping with like sort of practical issues. I would retreat into these sort of other worlds. And so I can be involved as long as it doesn't feel like work. So as soon as a video game starts giving me inane tasks to perform, it starts to feel like my office job, and then I don't want to do it. So if it's like, go here and collect 3 things and then bring them back to me, I'm like, no, like pay me or I'm not doing that. And then if there's like a situation where in my life I have a lot of things I want to do, and then I get to the end of the week and I realize that I've managed to get ahead a variety of levels in a video game, but I actually haven't accomplished any of the things that I said at the beginning of the week I wanted to do, then I have to cut it back, and sometimes just cut it out for a while. And then I always feel super excited and like it's really fun after I cut it back, and then I come back after 6 months or 3 months or something like that, I start playing again. Then it seems fun again for a while, but then it starts to slowly creep in and become corrosive, and so I have to cut it out again.
Are there like particular kinds of games that you think are like less kind of problematic, or it's just more like the time you're spending?
It's more the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Anything.
It could be really anything. Even stupid like games on your cell phone that you play or something like that. Like
Which
just
you
get
won't.
over and involved. Yeah,
Yeah,
something about it.
that's fair. That's fair.
What's our next one?
Okay, the next one is Angry Goat.
The
This
Angry
one
Goat.
has the ghost peppers in it.
My first ghost pepper.
I loved that. Queen Majesty, did you like it?
It was delicious.
That was my favorite one, I think,
Yeah.
so far.
That was delicious.
All right.
Okay, a ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper. What does it
Cheers.
mean? Does it cheers? Oh, that was kind of sweet.
I feel like I've had that kind of barbecue sauce taste before.
It's a little hot though.
It's very hot. Well, not very hot, but I mean it's got a noticeable.
Is it sneaking? It's a little sneaking. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's less on the lips and more just moving back towards the throat. Getting it?
Yeah. But I maybe I have had a ghost pepper before then.
It's familiar?
It's hard to, yeah, that's a familiar tasting sauce, but maybe it's just whatever else they put in it.
Maybe. It's getting spicier.
It's pretty spicy. But it's not ridiculous.
No, but it does. That one did creep up a little bit.
It's not ridiculous yet. All right, now we're getting into this is the situation now. 1 to 5 is just BS.
Yeah, I mean they're delicious,
yeah.
but no, yeah, I'm really feeling that now. You grew up drawing with your maternal grandfather, who was a graphic artist.
Yeah.
And you yourself have become a very good artist in both pen and ink and watercolors.
Oh, thank you.
What are your favorite kinds of things to draw or paint these days?
I'm trying to. I have 2 or 3 different favorite things to do, so I don't know if that's cheating, but
No.
With watercolors, I'm trying to learn to start with representational art, naturalist representational art of birds and animals and stuff, which is mostly just like copying the photography of other people, people who do wildlife photography, and I just try to like reproduce it with watercolors. And ultimately, what I'd like to do is something more like stylized and more in my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to first get it right.
The technique.
Like get the techniques down and try to learn how to do it, and then represent it in a way that means something to me.
I understand.
After. So I'm still trying to learn like the classic techniques of watercolor. With pen and ink, my favorite thing to do is to draw the type of illustrations that I would see in magazines when I was a kid. So it could be like horror stuff or fantasy stuff from those magazines. A lot of them were black and white, like very stark kind of depictions of like a figure in a tunnel or something like that. But they use the ink as like such a harsh kind of light source.
Yeah.
And I really got interested in that because my pencil technique is like detail oriented and shading, lots of shading, but the ink doesn't have that kind of, I mean, you could do cross hatching and stuff like that, but what I like to do is just have like sharp, like very like pale limbs and stuff emerging from like total shadow or something like that, you know, so it's kind of like very, it's just sort of a contrast, you know, from my pencil style.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite things, is like a very overly detailed shaded pencil drawing, a very sort of stark black and white type of ink thing, and then a watercolor of a bird.
Nice. Nice. I haven't seen your most recent stuff, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, you need to get an Instagram account.
No.
You know?
No. Hate it.
I'm just saying, that's where you'll see it.
Okay, so this is scorpion peppers, this one.
Another one from
Thunder
Thunder Bay, the heartbeat sauce.
Yeah. I'm really feeling it. Oh, that's a sharper one. The ghost pepper one was more of a darkness.
Delicious.
So over the last few years, we were living in Baltimore, which you loved.
I love Baltimore.
And now we're living back in Toronto, which you also love.
Toronto's the best.
Can you compare these two very different cities? Are there any common features that might explain why you like them both, or?
No.
No.
I mean, I can compare them, but no, there's no common features. Baltimore, well, it's in the throat a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, Baltimore is,
I feel great. I feel like a superhero.
Baltimore is a very small town. It's like 500,000 people. It's got a totally different feeling than Toronto. It's got a much, at least the neighborhood we were living in had this historic element where, like, you know, we saw that thing in the Peabody Library where they had like the old Moby Dicks open up, and you found that reference to the Washington Monument in it, like the Washington Monument that was so close to our house. That type of stuff, like, I don't associate Toronto with having like such a long type of historical.
I mean, there is a history, but it's not like
all of the stuff
documented in the buildings and stuff.
Yeah. Stuff about Frederick Douglass and all that type of stuff that was in Baltimore, going down to Fells Point and drinking in the bar where Edgar Allan Poe died right outside and stuff like that. That kind of thing was very charming. The people in Baltimore in the neighborhood that we lived in were really nice. Some of the other neighborhoods were kind of crappy, but like the really rich people and the yachts and stuff like that, that stuff was garbage. But like the parts with the real people were really nice. I just like the kind of style of it, like you'll be watching a ContraPoints video and you see the inside of her house, and she's got this staircase that looks exactly like the staircase in our building, like going up the middle of her house to the different floors and stuff like that. And you know, you'd walk down the street in Baltimore and you'd see people inside people's windows. They'd have these big vases in front of their windows and the chandeliers and stuff like that. Everything was kind of over the top and nice.
Yeah.
Contrasted with extreme poverty and all this type of stuff. Is a really weird kind of place to live. Toronto feels way more normal and kind of relaxed to me. Like everything that you could want is around you, like a couple of blocks. You don't have that stress. Baltimore was not like that at all. You couldn't find anything anywhere unless you bought it on Amazon. Yeah, they're two totally different cities, but yeah, Toronto just feels like home, and you could just relax and be like totally normal, totally safe and everything. It's not really, but that's sort of how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a really different energy, but I like the energy of both of them. But yeah, Toronto, I feel like has more of like a go success energy, and Baltimore has more of a like
southern type of.
Yeah, but also just like a community. People
That's
looking
true.
out for each other. It's okay to be weird. Like it's an accepting kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like both of them. I like both of them.
So this is 100% pain now.
We're really getting into it.
This is the nightmare one.
Okay. All right. I'm definitely the more nervous one. I don't know. How are you feeling? Like, let's just check in.
I feel like I've eaten some spicy food. My mouth is kind of
but nothing
tingling.
Like crazy, right?
Right. 100% pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is habaneros, but it's here we go.
Yeah.
Really?
That's the taste. I just inhaled some of it as I was going
about
to
in
talk.
Your throat, yeah. Oh yeah,
that's the smell that I smelled when I made
it's very sharp. Ow.
It's very sharp.
Ow, it's a little like knives in my. So lately you've been getting really into camping and learning how to survive in the woods.
I have.
You've been collecting a lot of different equipment and gadgets related to this, like different kinds of rope, knives, ways to light a fire.
Yeah.
If there was an actual emergency right now and you needed to leave civilization immediately,
this one's
what
spicy.
would be in your bug out bag? This one is really spicy.
Holy crap, I shouldn't have cleaned that right down to the bone.
No.
That was a weird thing I said I was not going to do.
I think that's enough for me of that one.
Wow.
Wow. It is painful. It's an accurate name. It's a pain. It's really a pain.
Yeah.
That I'm
The
feeling.
the lip numbness that I've heard so much about. What do I want to say about this?
Bug out
In
bag.
my bug out bag, I would have rope. I bought this really nice rope that is reflective.
There's a lot of rope.
It's reflective, and it's also got a filament in it that you can use to start a fire.
Okay.
That's really nice rope.
Don't touch your eyes.
No, I'm gonna avoid the eyes. We've got some good storm matches that I would keep, but I would definitely have my steel and my striking thing to make sparks. And I would have just my regular... Did you go back?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Why did you do that?
I just thought, I don't know.
My Swiss Army knife, just because that's that's the first knife that I ever bought. I've bought a couple of knives since then, and I only ever use my Swiss Army knife for anything. Like, that's the one that I regularly, think has something helpful. Yeah. So I would need, one thing that I don't have that I'd like to get for a bug out bag is a wool blanket. Are you done?
No, it's just this tastes completely different all of a sudden. A wool
That's funny.
blanket.
Yeah.
Isn't that heavy?
It's kind of heavy, but you could wrap it up and put it on the bottom, and it's very helpful to have.
It's my facade that's breaking down.
I know, we're getting down to your inner self. Anyway, those are the main things I'd like to have in a bug out bag: is rope, a knife, and a wool blanket.
A wool blanket.
Yeah, I think most of the other things, but like fire, shelter, I guess you need food and water. So we would need our platypus thing for filtering water. And you'd also need some food, and I would probably just take like some of those stone wheat thins that we have and stuff like that. Yeah, just some crackers and stuff are good food for like just a bug out.
Just a bug out.
You know, like something simple. I wouldn't bring anything elaborate in terms of food. Anyway, that's mostly it. How you doing? Yeah, that was an experience, that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most, I was worried when we roasted the wings that we would burned off the sauce, but we didn't.
No, we didn't. No, it's really, it's still there. I'm just like, I'm just trying to delay
The bomb?
the bomb, which is the next one.
This is the part on Hot Ones where they'd like do that. They take people's reactions and then like slow them down and pull them out, like.
Okay,
This is it.
let's just fucking dive in, man.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
To bomb beyond insanity.
Oh God. Oh, it doesn't taste good.
No.
Oh, you immediately feel like...
Mmm.
Oh, it's horrible.
Cleaned it.
You cleaned it?
Yeah, that was stupid.
My question is, you love dragons.
I love dragons.
Which dragon is your favorite? Describe this dragon.
Ugh. Oh my god.
Oh God. Oh my
it's
God.
building too.
Yeah, I feel like I might puke. I gotta. Where's that fucking?
What? The kefir.
Oh, that's awful. Why? Oh God. That helps. would you make that? Like that?
Need a new napkin. I'm tearing up a lot.
Ah. Oh.
Ugh.
Ah.
I shouldn't have
Favorite-
cleaned that one.
What's your favorite dragon?
Yeah.
Describe this dragon.
My favorite dragon is Tiamat, and she's the queen of the evil dragons. And I just like her because she was on a cartoon I used to watch when I was a kid, Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. She was like the scariest dragon. Because she combines all the powers of the evil dragons. I just like her. And Tiamat's a sort of Sumerian deity who represents the chaos at the beginning of the world. And Marduk kills her, cuts her in half, and creates the sky and the earth. So she's kind of the primeval ocean out of which everything is created. Well, now it's turning into real pain.
It's pain
Like tingling
yeah.
pins and needles. Like,
It's spreading away from my mouth and into the rest of my face.
oh, is it? Yeah, it's in my lips and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel like a hot sauce. It feels
Inside
like
my teeth? My teeth hurt?
yeah. Yeah.
No, pain.
Just like, that's interesting. That's weird. Like, it doesn't feel hot, really. It just feels like someone's jabbing you with needles. Yeah. I feel like going down my esophagus too.
Yeah, it's terrible in here. This is the worst part.
Oh, is it? It's not the worst part for me yet.
I really thought I was maybe gonna throw up.
I feel like I burned my palate a bit, but I can't have. It's just the chemical reaction. Yeah, so it's like in the Bible when God moves over the face of the ocean and then starts creating things. Tiamat is the ocean. That's how I like her. She's sort of fundamental. To answer your question.
Oh, thanks.
The hiccups.
Uh-oh. Do we have to go forward? Should I ask a part B?
Do you have a part B to the dragon
Yeah.
question?
Are there any dragons you don't like? It just hurts. Like, it hurts.
Yeah, are you okay? Yeah. Excuse me. There are dragons that I don't like. There's a type of artist who draws stuff on DeviantArt who has like a sort of dragon that, excuse me, looks like it's...
Did you have this?
No, not yet. I was drinking water.
You don't have to if you want to be tough, but...
No, I'm not trying to be tough. I'm just like trying to get the water out of my glass before I pour something else into it.
Oh. Oh.
Well, that does help. Kefir helps. Oh, I touched my nose.
Oh no.
Um,
Here, take more.
anyway,
But not the ones that I've touched.
yeah, there's a type of person who draws a type of dragon that looks sort of like it's mostly a cat with butterfly wings. Like there's all these types of dragons that are very like sort of. I have this dragon aesthetic that belongs to like a 16-year-old boy or a 14-year-old boy or something like that. That is more like something that's supposed to be cool, kind of spiny teeth, a bit of a alligator face or like some kind of long face, like not like a cute little snub nose,
More
like
lizardy.
yeah, more reptilian type of look. And I really just don't like
Cat dragons.
cat dragon. I feel like I burned my mouth.
I feel a little bit like I don't remember what happened for the past couple of minutes.
You've mostly been swearing. Well, we'll see.
Okay. I might be able to go on.
I'm ready. I shouldn't have cleaned that one though. I said I wasn't going to clean it,
And then you just did?
and then I did.
I didn't clean it. I
That's smart. Don't do it. Don't go back.
No, I'm not going back
Okay,
there.
you reached. I thought you were going
I
to reach
was just
in
going to
there.
point to it.
Yeah. Okay, what's next after that fucking nightmare? The bomb.
It's called Torchbearer, which is
Torchbearer
reassuring
garlic Reaper sauce.
because it has Carolina Reaper peppers in it.
Don't fear the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper, you know?
I do fear it. I fear it.
Can I do it? I can't do my Christopher Walken impression.
Well, can you?
I don't think I can.
Well, try.
No, I can't do it. I've got a
Kill
fever,
your own son.
and the fever needs more cowbell. No, that's not it.
That's not bad. It's not your best, but you're
I'm
not
Bruce
at your
Dickinson.
best.
I put my pants on one gold album at a time. No,
No, that
terrible.
was- you went into a Rodney Dangerfield.
Right? Yeah.
So, my wife's
Ugly. I know I'm ugly. My proctologist, he stuck his finger in my mouth.
When you
Anyway.
go butts. Anyway, let's just go.
My doctor.
It's like,
Don't fear the Reaper.
my hand is doing that thing.
That's a beef vindaloo thing. This is okay. This is good. Sweet.
That was delicious.
I could tell when oh, it comes at you.
Oh no. It's delicious.
It's just fine. You're fine. Oh, I felt a little spike there.
In your PhD dissertation,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
you used Berger and Lettman's theory of the social construction of reality to support your thesis about the use of secrecy in religious movements.
That's right.
Many people misunderstand this theory. Can you explain it and tell us how people misunderstand it?
Yeah. People use the words, it's something is just a social construction. And they use the word just in there. And what they mean to say is that it is something that isn't necessarily so, but that it could be changed in some fashion. Like it's not, if something is just a social construction, what they're trying to say is that, like gender or whatever it is that they're talking about, what they mean is that our attitudes towards it are not defined by some inevitable law of reality, but they're just social.
Isn't that right? That's what I think it means.
And that is true, but they're misunderstanding the power of what a social fact is and what a social reality is to people.
Right.
So they're saying it's just social, but that's not the right way to think about social reality. Social realities present themselves to people as real. And so you don't have to eat more of that if you don't want to.
It is really hot, but like in a totally different way.
Yeah, it's delicious, yeah. So saying something's a social construct doesn't mean anything about how real it is or how not real it is, and people think that it does. But money is a social construct, and it's still very real. It affects people, and if someone is poor, you can't go up to them and say, don't worry about being poor. Money is just a social construct, and that'll help them in some way. It doesn't help them, you know? So you need to address
You're doing so well. I thought this would be so hard for you.
the understanding of a social construct is that, like, you need to address the social dynamic out of which the thing is constructed. So you need to talk to people. You need to have the process of socialization change so that people were not taught that thing in the time where they were being socialized, so that they never internalized it. And then you would have to change the way that they acted in the world so that they never performed it socially, so that they didn't like teach it to other people. So changing a social construct is very hard, but saying to somebody something is just a social construct is kind of misleading. It gives you the impression that it's easy to change, when in fact it's incredibly difficult to change social constructs in anything but a historical sweep of time, you know?
So you've already kind of answered this, but how is this theory relevant today, and what kinds of things can it explain about our present moment, socially and politically?
Well, I think it's very important to understand the social construction theory is based on the idea that there's certain people in society who act as what people who control the whole paradigm and reinforce it, called universe maintainers. And they're people who inhabit some social level that makes them the people that define what is real and what is not. And in the period that I was looking at in my dissertation, there was an argument between two different types of universe maintainers. And so the church presented itself as the people who knew what was real and what wasn't, and their enemies were heretics who didn't. But there were leaders inside of that heretic movement who they said what was real and what wasn't, and they thought that the church was lying. And so there's a lot of situations in our life now, like between scientists and anti-vaxxers, where they have their authority figures, we have our authority figures, and like if I say this such and such a science, or if I say the CDC says this, an anti-vaxxer has already, like from their point of view, has already been like, they know that the CDC is a liar and a heretic. They already know that. So my evidence doesn't mean anything to them. And so Berger and Luckman posited that situations, conflicts between universe maintainers could only be resolved by the physical force of the people who adhered to those maintainers. So like if the church had physical force on its side and the heretics had physical force on their side, and why the church won is because their people who followed the church were stronger. And so it's kind of a bleak picture of just like how this anti-vax thing might get worked out, is that on the vax side, there's the coercive force of government, and on the anti-vax side, there's like Chris Sky and four guys in a muscle shirt. Those guys are going to lose, you know? And it's not because the two worldviews, like it's not some logical superiority, it's because of weakness, yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty bleak.
It's bleak. Berger's an asshole, though. Like, the guy who came up with the theory is a dickhead.
Yeah.
And so was I when I did the work, so it all went together.
So do you not really, you're questioning some of those things now, I guess?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that theories are, because of methodological reductions and theoretical reductions involved, they're sort of useful to hone in on the thing that you're interested in your work. But you can't take them out into reality and just apply them everywhere and expect it to like always give you the right answer about stuff. It's just the world's too complicated to always have a sociological answer to everything. So it just doesn't always work.
The pain is like up to here now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's like, it's up to here. Where is it for you?
I have some tingling in my lips, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah, once the crying and hiccups stopped.
You didn't hiccup for very long.
No, I know. I thought this was going to be all hiccups.
The time has started to pass strangely.
Yeah, it's Sunday, by the way. It's not Sunday.
All right, oh my God.
This is the last dab. We gotta do it.
We gotta do it. All right.
This is the last dab, and
I'm
we
gonna put
traditionally, you're
some
supposed to
here.
shake it up.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Shake it up
sorry.
a bit first.
Traditionally on the show,
Yeah.
we put a last little dab.
I don't have to if I don't want to.
But you don't have to if
Yeah,
you don't want to.
that's
Sorry,
true.
I'm forgetting
No,
the
that's
rituals.
okay.
Thank
I'm
you
helping.
for reminding me.
Yeah.
Next time you're gonna be Sean.
I'll be Sean, and Akelia will be the celebrity. Yeah.
Something, last dab, something.
I'll do it. I don't want people on Reddit.
It's tradition around here.
Yeah, I don't want people on Reddit to say that I'm a pussy, so I'll do it.
So you'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to put some
Normally
here
I don't
and we'll
use
dab it in?
misogynist language like that, but that's the way everyone always says
Everyone
it.
always says it.
Yeah, you do one.
Or just do my own one, or do you want me to put some and then you dip it?
Oh, put some and dip it. That's a good idea. That's more controlled.
I was too scared to just pour it.
It's good.
I didn't know what its viscosity was like in
Yeah.
advance.
Right. This is it, man.
I a little bit feel like I'm gonna throw up again.
Really?
A little bit.
Oh.
Just a tiny bit.
It's fine. sure it's fine.
It's probably fine.
There's that
Oh,
taste.
it's just a chicken. I'm not used to eating so much chicken.
Yeah, it's not the hot sauce.
It's not the hot sauce.
We just had a hard week.
Oh, that one's a bit of a Scotch bonnet.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, that one has Apollo pepper, especially
Apollo pepper.
Wow.
Done with that one.
Wow.
Cleaned it. Ding.
Federal election has just been called. Who are you going to vote for?
I'm not allowed to say who I'm going to vote for. That's private. I'm going to vote for the NDP the way that I always do. Ever since the Green Party failed me a couple of elections ago. If a couple of federal elections ago the Green Party had said, I want to leave all the fossil fuels in the ground and we have to learn to have a green economy where we transition justly and leave all the fossil fuels in the ground, I would have voted green this whole time. But since they didn't,
Even though they're capitalists who compost?
even though they're capitalists who compost, if they would have been the only people saying that, and if they had said it, it would have been worth it.
What if the liberals said that?
No, I'd never vote for the liberals. They're liars. They could say whatever they want, they won't do it. Oh, it's spicy like in your
Oh.
throat.
Yeah.
It's burning like you swallowed something that's really hot.
Yeah. But you know what, John, you made it.
I made it. This camera, that camera,
This camera, that camera.
that camera over there.
Now it's time to roll out the red carpet for you.
Yeah. Can I tell them what
Tell
I've
us
got
what
coming
you've
up?
got going on.
Well, we'll see. You know, like I've got a lot of changes in my life. I'm been doing a lot of tarot card readings. I'm hoping to do a better job at that. You know, I've got work stuff going on. That's all going well. I'm probably going to have a gastrointestinal problem soon. I've got that. So, you know, now I'm 46. And, you know, I think I lived a good long life. So if this is how I have to go out, you know, this is how I have to go out. I never knew I would get to be this old anyway. So, you know, fuck it.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Yay!
Yay! We did it! Something went in my eye.
Just your own tears.
I can't.
How are you?